So we're back here at this raised bed that has your beautiful purple cabbage. And you've got these brackets on the inside of your beds that you can just take some electrical conduit.
Yeah.
What is this?
It is electrical conduit, and the brackets, we put the receivers in the gardens before you put the soil in and everything. It's
Right.
the easiest way when you're building it.
So these little metal brackets here are kind of drilled into your raised beds?
Yeah, they're anchored in, and you can actually use PVC as well, is what we typically use. It's a little easier to work with. I just ended up having some extra of this, and I used what I've got.
Sure.
But the key point is we use the electrical conduit. Now, you can find this at the big box stores. It's pretty much the same thing as the white PVC.
Right.
It's basically the same cost, but this product is designed to be above ground.
Oh.
So it has natural UV protectants in it.
Because
the
that
white
PVC
doesn't.
will turn brown and look sunburned.
And not only look that way, but here in Phoenix, it'll start getting brittle and it'll break
Absolutely.
on you. This will last for years and years and years. And what's nice about it, once we take those out, they'll pretty much
Kind of hold their shape.
they'll pretty much just hold their shape, so they're easy to store, because during the summer we don't want that in there. And then you just literally just slide it.
There you go, get this one. So the newbie gardeners out there that want to protect their gardens with a hoop house like this, either for winter frost or summer heat or sun, they can put this kind of setup in their garden, and then what do? You put some kind of something over top.
We use the typical frost cloth, and it's a premium grade, so it's a little bit thicker, and that can keep the temperature, one layer of that can keep the temperature 15 to 20 degrees warmer.
So you put the frost cloth on top of these conduit and it runs all the way down to the ground?
Well, what we do, I don't necessarily run it all the way to the ground. I just clip it on with these spring clips.
So the plastic's on top of this guy and you just clip it.
And clip it. And
That's cool.
you may notice with my gardens, I like things sort of tidy. And so when these are on there, they're not droopy. It looks
Yeah.
like a little greenhouse. One of the things that you just noticed is how this slid down.
Yeah.
So if you have larger crops in here, you can keep that higher.
That's
it's
great.
really adjustable to the length of your bed.
So for this bed with your cabbages, you can keep it low. If you had some big tomato plants, you can make it higher.
Exactly.
That's
now,
great.
with the cabbage, there's no need to cover that with what we're going to get here.
Sure.
If we had tomatoes and things like that, definitely would.
The cabbage can take the frost, soak in the broccolis and things like that.
Well, not only can they take the frost, it changes the cellular makeup of the plant, and it causes them to be more sweet.
Yes.
If you notice, if you eat lettuce and salads during the winter months, you'll
better.
typically notice not only are they better, but typically you use less salad dressing on it.
Yeah.
And that's a unique thing that a lot of people of us don't think about. It's like, why do we put salad dressing on salads? Well, salad dressing, if you think about it, it's either oil and vinegar or maybe buttermilk, which all of those are acidic. And we use that to balance the pH, the alkalinity in the produce to make it more palatable to our taste buds. So if you have crops that are growing during the winter, then they're going to naturally be more acidic. The pH is going to be lower in the product, so you won't be needing to add so much salad dressing.
And it's almost like nature makes it taste better and sweeter in the winter, trying to tell us to eat more of it in the winter.
I think that's true.
Yeah, eat with the seasons.
Eat with the seasons.
Alex, talking about eating with the seasons, eating the leafy greens that are sweeter in the winter time to boost your health and immune system, but also the citrus in the Phoenix area is ready in the winter time.
It normally starts ripening right around Christmas, which is right around cold and flu season as well. I have several different varieties in the yard, and here we're in the Arcadia area. We get flood irrigation.
Because it used to be a citrus grove in this area.
The whole area, not only citrus, but also dates and pecans, which we have all on the property here. But one of the things that I've learned about citrus is the citrus can be much like wine. The older the tree is, the better the fruit is on it.
This one looks like an older tree.
It's a very old tree. It was probably here before the house was built. The house was built in 1948.
Okay.
So it's been here for quite a while.
Like if I were to pan down right now, you can see the size of that trunk down there on this tree is got some decades on it.
It does. And you know, this this is just a great environment here in the Phoenix area for pretty much all of your citrus.
This one's called an Arizona Sweet.
This is an Arizona Sweet. It's got quite a bit of seeds into it, so it is really best for juicing.
I have a juice press, and everybody that has Arizona Sweets get on my good list if they hook me up with some, and I just juice them all because they're the best tasting orange juice ever.
I believe for orange juice, this is a great one to do. And this is just loaded. So in the mornings, like right now, I've been coming out and picking off of different varieties of trees that we have, and I pick about 20 to juice for the family for in the morning, and it helps to keep everybody nice and healthy.
What are some of the other orange varieties you have?
We have behind us here, we have a key lime that as I turned, I just noticed it's blooming.
Nice.
And this key lime has only been in the ground for about 2 years. Got that from Reed, one of our favorite citrus growers here in Phoenix at RSI. And then we've got some other around the corner that are the Valencia, which are a much larger tree in scale compared to what the Arizona Sweets are. And so those are the varieties that we really have here, is those 3 varieties. We do have a lemon tree, a variegated lemon tree in the back that has beautiful purple blooms onto it.
And pink lemons, right?
And pink lemons.
That's great. We're on the edge of your property now, and you've lined it with moringa trees, which is like this nutritional tree. You can eat the leaves of, you can eat every part of the tree, and it's a very healthy, almost a supplement.
It really is. And you know, these trees here, I planted these in the ground about 1.5 years ago from seed, and they're just, because we haven't had that cold of a winter, they've surprised me. And they still have leaves on them. We're collecting some of the seeds, but we're still eating some of the smaller pods.
Look at the size of those pods over there, and these guys really turn green and bushy in the summer. They love the heat.
They do love the heat. Some of them are still flowering. We've got one behind us over here that's still producing a lot of flowers, but not as much green.
And how do you eat the moringa leaves or the moringa?
You know, typically what we do with them, I like them fresh. So we'll just peel those off, and either we'll juice those or we put them in salads. We like a lot of different things in our salads, from the moringa to elephant food and things like that in salads, to give you different tastes and mouthfeels as well. But also, one of my favorite things with the moringa is the smaller pods, just to chop those up and eat them like green beans. One of the things that I notice with the moringa is they have like a little wasabi taste to them.
Almost like an afterbite of that wasabi.
Yeah, but what I've noticed with these particular trees, during the summer, they tend to have more of that wasabi taste than they do right now. They're very, very mild, especially the small ones. So we eat them a lot that way too, just cut them up and make that as a side dish.
So even like these two down here we have, if you're harvesting these leaves in the winter, they might taste a little more sweet and tender like your other vegetables in your garden.
And I think it's probably very much what happens with a lot of the brassicas and the leafy greens is the cold weather can just sort of change the cellular makeup of the plant.
And I'm sure when you're making a salad from your garden full of all these incredibly ripe, nutritious leafy greens, throw some moringa in there, elephant's food, you're probably much more full from that salad because it's full of nutrients when compared to a salad from the bag in the store.
Yeah, because once that stuff is cut, within 48 hours, 24 hours, you know, you can lose more than 50% of the nutrient density. That's why people, when we do the garden tours and people are sampling things that they may have never eaten before, and what I find most interesting, if it's something like arugula that people always eat and they buy that at the store or even the farmers markets, and I have them taste it here and ask them, so what is that? So I don't know. I've never tasted anything like this. Have you ever eaten arugula? Oh yeah, all the time.
They don't know it's. They don't know the look of it when it's in the garden.
Well, maybe they don't recognize the flavor of it.
Oh, that's
because
true too.
When you taste it, it's stronger. It has more of a bite.
It's almost like people's tastes are becoming numbed because they don't have any nutrient-dense produce to eat
Exactly.
anymore.
And so when you pick that and you go and serve it, to your family.
It's like a power pack. Boom.
It is. It can, especially something like arugula, it can be a real kick in the mouth because of that pepperness that comes through.
Most of my friends that want to eat what I'm eating, they're like, Jake, I want to come over and I want to have you make me something that you eat. I make them a salad from the garden, and they would get buzzed or high off of it because they'd be on like a nutrient dense high. There wasn't any marijuana in the salad, but it would be like a nutrient high because all the leafy greens and the herbs and the flowers I put in their salad from the garden, their system is not used to being bombarded with those nutrients, and they get a little buzzed off it in a very good way.
And you know, like with my wife, she's always been a big salad eater. And then when we started growing stuff, she was like, I don't know if I like that as much as I do from the store. And she wasn't used to taking in those kind of nutrients and the taste of them. So what we had to do is to sort of wean her onto it. It's like, okay, let's cut these, let's put them in the refrigerator overnight, and let's try it tomorrow. And, it was much better. Well, because her taste buds just weren't used to tasting that kind of intensity. And so it's a way for some of us to have to work up to it, either with that nutrient buzz, or maybe it's just the taste of it.
I bet now she's happy to have this stuff from the garden, and she probably wouldn't go back to the store.
Oh yeah, because it just tastes like water.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?